Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hello, my name is Mike Matthews. I am here today to bring you a program that we call, ever so humbly,
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's episode 2685. Hello, it's Mike Matthews. I'm alive. And that would explain why I'm talking to you, why this guy is saying, how's it going to you? If you don't use the phone number that I have, then I will lose it. That 510-228-464.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
0. Call that number. Say hi to me at Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley.
Mike's
the last place on earth.
Daily
That way,
Podcast.
I don't lose the number.
Yeah!
Because Google will steal the number away from me, like they did that 336 Daily number they took back from me. But that's okay, because I'm not in North Carolina. I am here in the East Bay, Podcastro Valley. Happy Oktoberfest. What? Now, technically, the Germans like to celebrate the Oktoberfest in September because they like the extra time to celebrate. But that's all right. It's National German American Day if you're listening to this on the 6th. It's also National Coaches Day because we love getting around in those horse-drawn coaches. Wait, what? No? Oh, it's like the people that tell the team members that they need to play better. Those kind of coaches. Like the Craig T. Nelson sitcom that was ever so enjoyable. I was glued to it. It's also National Plus Size Appreciation Day. We applaud you and the extra fabric that you like to use. That's all right. That's okay because you're beautiful. And it's a Mad Hatter Day. We were talking about that last podcast if you want to go into further explanation.
And here's today's podcast picture.
But it also is German American Day today for all those people celebrating Oktoberfest. The podcast picture today is from the fine town of Benita. I was there recently, and there's some lovely boats there, and you can see the picture at mikesdailypodcast.com. Those are what, mini ships? I'm not sure. They're the kind that Gilligan was on when they got stranded on that island. Yes. So see that picture at mikesdailypodcast.com. I pay money for it, so it'd be nice if somebody went onto it at some point. Yes, the late great Basil the Boxer used to love going to the fine town of Benicia. We used to go all the time. And what? It's National Propane Day on the 7th. Okay. There's nothing like propane. Did you know propane is found in the 1990 Clean Air Act? Propane is a great substitute for gas and fuel oil. It not only reduces greenhouse gas carbon dioxide, it also reduces air pollutants like carbon monoxide and nitrogen oxide.
Magnification. And now we return you to our regularly scheduled program with Mike Matthews.
Magnification.
In 1910, chemist Walter Snelling, that's a name for someone that works with gas, right? Snelling, because they're snelling, they snell stuff. Accidentally discovered propane after watching a gasoline jug cork pop off, calling it wild gas. By 1913, he was awarded patent number 1 million something for LP gas. His further research during the 20s and 30s would help pave the way for use of propane in homes, equipment, and vehicles. As propane use became more widely acceptable in the 30s, a rotten egg odor was added to the propane that would allow consumers to detect a propane leak faster. Because propane is an odorless chemical, detection of leaks was difficult up to that point. So you couldn't schnell it. Schnell. Oh yeah, that's German for like hurry up. Hurry up and finish the story, Mike. Propane is safely used in homes for appliances and machinery. It says there, and that the U.S. produces over 90% of propane, which actually helps us reduce our dependence on foreign oil.
The Fascinating Material Project.
I guess that's pretty much it for the 7th. I tried to get a little bit ahead of the game, but
Ginormous.
October 8th is the real interesting day because that's going to be Pierogi Day. Pierogies. Fluffernutter Day.
A fine article.
You silly great fat article.
Archibald Query of Somerville, Massachusetts, invented a sweet marshmallow-like spread called marshmallow cream. In 1913, during World War II,
you will travel into the incredible universe.
Emma and Amory Curtis of Melrose, Massachusetts, invented snowflake marshmallow cream. So Archibald invented that marshmallow cream in 1917. And then when they published a recipe for peanut butter and marshmallow cream sandwiches, the earliest known example of fluffernutter, that was done by Emma and Amory Curtis. So there you go. Query sold his recipe for marshmallow cream to Durkee Mower Incorporated in 1920, who renamed it Marshmallow Fluff. Over 100 years later, they continued to sell it under that name. The advertising agency for Durkee Mower created the name Fluffernutter in 1960 in an attempt to effectively market the peanut butter and marshmallow sandwich. Yum. So you layer the creamy goodness of marshmallow cream and peanut butter between toasted bread. Kombucha! And bacon apparently is good on it too. So that's Fluffernutter Day. That'll be on the 8th. That'll be on Sunday. So something to add to your delicious brunch. As we go outside of Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth.
Anyway.
Look who's outside of Café Anyway with me right now outside. Look who's greeting us. Hi, Mac. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing out by my horse dinner? It's a disgruntled fiddle player. Tell you what. What? What do you mean you never had marshmallow and peanut butter? It's the best thing ever. In fact, Elvis used to have peanut butter and bananas fried sandwiches. Very good for you. I don't think that's very good for you. Well, sure, it's got peanuts in it. That's good for you because that's like a fruit or something. Or like a legume. I bet you didn't know I knew the word legume. No, I'm very impressed. Legume. Very good. Look who else is here. Hello, Mike. I make delicious root beer hash right now. Oh, that's good. Bizarre, weird root beer. What's in that? Fluffernutter. I should have known Fluffernutter would be in there. But happy Oktoberfest, Brewmaster.
Yeah, I'm not German. Drink it right now. I'll cut you.
Are you sure you're not German? Just a little bit? Just ein bisschen?
No.
I don't know if Vivek Ramaswamy is German. Who knows? At least 2 protesters upset about the Republican presidential candidate's remarks in opposition to aid for Ukraine purposely rammed his car in Iowa in retaliation today. But police say there's no evidence to support the claim that the crash was intentional. The police account of the crash in the central Iowa city of Grinnell, there's Germans there, I think, sharply diverged from the story told earlier by Vivek, by his campaign, which contended that protesters yelled and swore at the candidate before at least one of them jumped into a vehicle, rammed his empty campaign car, and sped off. No one was injured. Now, in July, Ramaswamy's rival Ron DeSantis was involved in a multi-car accident near Chattanooga, Tennessee. When you go there, make sure to do some stand-up boarding. What do they call that? The stand-up board. Is that subbing? Something. And then it's beautiful. And there's a Lookout Mountain and all that stuff, the Rock City and everything. Go there. Go. It's great. Although I've not seen Rock City or the Lookout Mountain, but I someday hope to. But that was en route to a campaign event. The Florida governor was injured when the traffic on Interstate 75 slowed quickly during busy morning drive time, causing a chain reaction of state-owned vehicles. I almost got into an accident today on Mission Boulevard in Hayward. Just everybody stopped all of a sudden. Oh, I hate that. Why? There was a governor that I heard who was threatened by a person with an automatic the Wisconsin governor. Let's see, a man seeking Wisconsin governor illegally brought guns to the state capitol twice in one day. That's right. He was arrested, he posted bail, and he came back with an automatic weapon. The man, who was shirtless and had a holstered handgun, approached the governor's office on the first floor of the Capitol around 2 o'clock yesterday. The 43-year-old man said he would not leave until he saw the Governor Evers, so he could talk about domestic abuse towards men. Okay. Evers was not in the building. Capitol police officer sits at a desk outside of a suite of rooms that includes the governor's office, conference room, and offices for the attorney general. The man was taken into custody for openly carrying a firearm in the Capitol, which is against the law. Weapons can be brought into the Capitol if they are concealed and the people has a valid permit. The man arrested did not have a concealed carry permit. The man posted cell phone video of his arrest on Facebook because he's classy like that, which one of his Facebook friends downloaded and provided to the Associated Press. In the footage, the man tells police as they speak to him outside of the governor's office that he is armed to defend himself, and people who say that police won't protect him from. I am not a threat. His dog was with him, and he doesn't have a shirt. He remembered to bring the dog, but not to wear the shirt.
Whoa! Mike's Amusement Park.
The front panel will close automatically. Please remain seated at all times.
Then he posted bail. He returned to the outside of the Capitol shortly before 9 p.m., 3 hours after the building closed, with a loaded assault-style rifle and a collapsible police baton in his backpack. He again demanded to see the governor and again was taken into custody. He said he did not own a vehicle, and it is likely he has access to a large amount of weapons and is comfortable using them.
Mike's out of left field recordings.
Recording everything captures actions that will never again be repeated.
I was going to make espresso.
Woo!
The AP normally does not name suspects until they are charged. So until they are charged, they are not named. And that was from ABC News. Interesting. And one other, let's dive into this quick little fun fact. Oh, yeah. And Kaiser, the nurses are striking. So it is a year of striking because the UAW is still striking. Writer's strike ended, and did you hear that some of the writers so Drew Barrymore had writers working even though there was a writer's strike going on, and her writers will not go back, is what I last heard. Las Vegas launched the Sphere into space. No, they opened the Sphere, and U2 performed there this past weekend. And it looked pretty cool. I saw some of the video online, some of the YouTube video. They started off with the song Zoo Station for their album Achtung Baby. Or is it called Zoo TV? I forget. It was the Zoo TV tour, I remember, because I saw it at Dodger Stadium back in the early 90s. But they start with the song, And the whole time, so it's basically a big IMAX theater, like the biggest IMAX theater. And projected onto the screen, it looked like bricks of a wall, huge, colossal bricks. And when they started playing the song, the bricks all collapse and fall away. And then you're seeing Bono on video. And they're basically performing their stage as like a big turntable. And at one point I saw in the video, Bono says, "Oh yeah, this is Brian Eno's turntable," which means nothing to you unless you know the story of Brian Eno and why he is one of the most amazing producers of all time. And he did produce Achtung Baby, I think also Joshua Tree, and the one before, the Unforgettable Fire. But I think All That You Can't Leave Behind. But he was very sick as a child, and his parents, to keep him happy, keep his spirits up, would play records for him. But apparently and I love the word apparently, his parents did not quite understand how a record player worked, and they played it at the wrong speed. So he would hear his favorite albums being played at a slow volume. And he got to thinking, he's like, wow, it has a whole atmosphere unto itself. Pop songs, can have an atmosphere about them. And he performed in the band Roxy Music. He was their amazing keyboard player. He produced Talking Heads stuff. He just has this amazing artistic ear. So that was Bono's little way of tipping his hat. But is he wearing cowboy hats again? To Brian Eno. And if you're young, if you're a Gen Zer or even a millennial, you probably hate U2. This is what I've discovered in my travels, that everyone younger than me hates U2. Listen, you just got to understand that if you like listening to just commercial, churned out, mindless crap music, if that's your thing, basically everything you listen to, dissect it and understand. Ask the question, is there any art in the song I'm listening to? If the answer is no, then okay. But you ask yourself, do you want some art in your music? And that's all about what... I'm not saying all of U2's music is artistic, but there are songs. Probably once in a while they get to that level. Check out some of the stuff Brian Eno produced for them. Is pretty cool. So they performed, and their tour started. Their Las Vegas residency started last weekend. This thing is 366 feet high. This sphere. The Statue of Liberty is 151 feet high, so the Statue of Liberty could fit inside of it. It can hold up to 20,000 people. The outside, known as the exosphere, is covered with 1.2 million LED lights that can be seen from a mile away. So they're competing with the pyramid. What's it called? The pyramid. And we'll just call it the pyramid. I can't remember the name of that hotel. It's popular. It'll spring to my mind in moments, I'm sure. But yes, that, how it shoots up, the Luxor, it shoots light straight up into the sky, right? You can see it from far, far away. That's what the sphere is doing, is trying to do that kind of thing. A huge TV 3 times as big as a whole football field that wraps all the way around the entire stage and seats. Oh, that's the curved LED inside. It's a 160,000 square foot curved LED. And that's as big as it's 3 times as big as a whole TV field. Interesting. It cost $2.3 billion to make, and it's owned by MSG Group, who owns Radio City Music Hall in New York, as well as Madison Square Garden in New York and Beacon Theater. So if you are asking this question, college, driving, or childcare, which is most expensive? Raising a child is expensive. It's getting even pricier. College tuition is always the biggest, as the average annual in-state tuition at a 4-year public university estimated at $10,940, and more than half the state's child care costs more than an in-state public college tuition. Child care costs over $11,000, close to $12,000, or $1,000 a year more than public college tuition. Teen car ownership now also costs more than in-state tuition at a public university. It costs about $11,378 a year. So there's soaring prices for auto insurance, maintenance, car repairs, vehicle prices, and gasoline. College, childcare, and driving, having a car. Some of the biggest expenses. Well, of course, buying a house and any kind of crazy health issues that need a lot of money. That all from Rob Black. I produce his podcast. He's on the radio and TV in the Bay Area, on the radio AM 1220 KDOW, and on the TV on Kron in the mornings. And let's see. Oh, yeah. Used cars. Speaking of cars, they're getting older and pricier. The average price for used cars increased from 2019 to this year, up 33%. Used to be $20,398, up to $27,133. And Samsung's new ploy to get kids off of iPhones is the Mr. Beast sponsorship. Talked about that yesterday. 87% of teens own an iPhone, leaving very little to get them. There's a big moth that just flew in front of my face and distracted me because we're outside a Café Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. And we're going to end the show today. If you'd like to call me, here's the number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
Would love to hear from you. You can chime in about anything we covered today. And with more ways to reach me, it is a Frank.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!